Hello, everyone. This is Nasir Qureshi, Realtor Daddy from Houston, on another hot episode of our TV talk show, Wisdom Wednesday. And we have an honor and privilege to have another special guest with us. And we're going to learn from him and about him. Hello, Mr. Dwight, and also known as Mr. Bemoe. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So tell us and our audience a little bit about yourself that who are you and where are you from?
Okay. My name is Dwight Baltimore. All friends call me Bemoe. Right now, I'm living in Willingboro, New Jersey. I'm retired twice, one from General Motors with 32 years and 20 years with Catholic Charities. My passion is riding motorcycles. And today I'd like to just share with everyone the positives and the negatives of the world of motorcycling, and also to push my book, which is called Bemoe,
Hmm.
which this is just a proof, which will be coming out, I hope, within the next month or so. Uh, I've been living in Willingboro since 1980. I've been riding since 1976. I've been to Nova Scotia. Far north is Nova Scotia. Far south is Miami. Far west is Kansas, Las Vegas, uh, New Orleans. And my dream was to go to California, but with I had a motorcycle accident in 2018, which stopped my motorcycle career. Uh, I I really like to talk a little bit about what I have in my book. I go in from a childhood dream to reaching the pinnacle of having joining one of the most wonderful motorcycle clubs I think in the world, which is the National Association of Buffalo Soldier Troopers Motorcycle Club. But I'll talk about that a little bit later. I like to just go in the beginning. My story starts in Newport News, Virginia, when I was about the age of 10, 12 years old. And uh, I guess you can say that I was a juvenile delinquent. And my parents sent me to Virginia every year, down to my aunt's in Newport News, Virginia. And our next door neighbor, their son was in the service, went into the service, and he had a big old Harley Davidson sitting out in the backyard with a big old seat. And I used to sit on that bike and just pretend I was riding from Virginia to New Jersey. This is how I spent most of my summers. And as I grew older and I went into the military and I went overseas and I saw how they were using mopeds for taxis with little sidecars, that intrigued me. And when I was in high school, my boss had a little Sears and Roebuck scooter. That was my first experience. I was so dumb that I rode it in the snow. Uh, you say God looks out for babies and fools, and I guess He looked out for me because every time I had to come to a stop, I found something to help me stop. Uh, and and some of the trials and tribulations of being a biker. Um, if you're really interested in getting into biking, I suggest you take the safety course, motorcycle safety course. I've taken that course. I've taken the experienced motorcycle course. They're not easy. Motorcycling is not a fad. I mean, you really have to want to do this because you come in with the foul weather, the hot weather, the sand pits, the gravel, getting sick on the road, stopping on the road, helping somebody else, getting help while you're on the road. It's so many segments to being a motorcyclist. Just because you have a motorcycle doesn't mean you're a motorcyclist. Uh, from my coming up, I started off my first bike was a 900 Kawasaki. I think it was 1972. And I never rode before, and I had to get one of my co-workers to bring it home for me. And it was an experience. The first time I went out with a bunch of guys, we're talking back in the 70s. Route 80 in New Jersey was just being built, and the road was like glass. And these guys took me out on this highway, and I was going so fast I couldn't read the speedometer because I didn't want to take my eyes off the road. I was going so fast, but the sensation of the 900 cubic inch engine between my legs, and it just it caught me. I was sold. This is what I wanted to do. This is what I've been doing for the past 45 years. If I hadn't had the accident in 2018, I'd still be riding. But with the grace of God, I'm still here. I was in the hospital for almost 6 months trying to recuperate. And with, like I said, with the grace of God and the help of my wife, I endured. Um, I I just want to let the younger people know that uh, this is no joke, and there's a lot of people out here that don't have any respect for motorcyclists. I see these guys doing these wheelies, going in and out. It's not safe, but these machines will kill you. They will kill you. But if you take the safety course, you wear your protective gear, and you act like you have some common sense, you'll get to enjoy some of the places I've been. Like I said, I've been as far as up to Nova Scotia, as far as west as Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, New Orleans, uh, Miami, all on two wheels. And this is dealing with, like I said, the heat, the cold, the breakdowns, uh, trying to deal with riding with other people. Riding by yourself can be, it's not wise to do it, but sometimes that's your best ride because you don't have to wait for nobody. You can just ride as you wish to ride. Um, I had the opportunity in 2001 to learn about the Buffalo Soldiers of 1866. And this is when I got involved with uh, the National Association of Buffalo Soldiers and Troopers Motorcycle Club. It's the largest uh, black denomination motorcycle club in the world. We started off with 8 chapters, which I'm proud to say I was part of one of the 8 in the beginning in 1999. And we've grown to like over 120 chapters today in the United States and Hawaii, and I believe Germany. Uh, we're a mostly military or law enforcement. At the time, you couldn't have a felon. You had to have a career. You had to be law abiding. Um, it's growing so large now. A lot of changes have been made, but our goal was to teach about the history of the 1800 Buffalo Soldiers, and our motorcycles represented the horse, which the cavalry rode back in the 1800s out west, and we tried to take the same knowledge that they had as far as being out in the plains for 3 months at a time in the cold, the wet, and just enduring the weather. Um, and with this, we found a lot of people cannot do what we do and teach what we teach. I'm proud to say that I've had more than 400 presentations just teaching young and old. We go to with the nursing homes, anywhere that I can go to teach about our history, uh, about the Buffalo Soldiers, which is not taught in school um, until lately. And sad to say, they're trying to take that history away from us, but I don't think it'll happen. It's too deep. Uh, I I don't I don't look at race when it comes to motorcycling, and most motorcyclists don't look at race. They look at, if you're riding a motorcycle, you are part of the motorcycle family, and if you break down on the side of the road, they will stop and help you. And this is our mindset. And since 2018, since I can't ride, uh, I've joined I volunteer for another African American organization, Dr. James Still Education Center in Medford, New Jersey. Dr. Still was one of the he was a naturalist. He had all your natural herbs and whatnot, and he sold his herbs to the pharmacists in Philadelphia. He became one of the wealthiest men in Burlington County in the 1800s. Uh, and if it comes to history and people of color, I have a deep passion for. Uh, I've had some. Well, in during the 70s, I was a service in Korea, and I had some bad experiences, and it just because there were so many riots going on and so many negative things going on in the United States at the time. And when I came home, I found myself very militant. Um, Working for General Motors for 32 years, I started off pushing a broom, and I wound up being a computer operator uh, for the rest of my career. And to be able to say that I did 32 years and receiving a pension now, I got the gold clock, I got all of that, and it's not too many of people of color that can have those credentials, and to leave there and to wind up with Catholic Charities helping people with mental behavioral problems uh, was an uplift because there's so many people who have problems, but they have a lot of common sense. They have more common sense than the average person, but people will down them because the way they may talk or the way they walk, or but they're still. I learned that people are still human beings, regardless what color they are, what their disability are, and I guess my whole life has been to teach and share my knowledge with younger people so that they know how to deal with this thing called life. I'm 78 years old. I've been a lot, been around a lot, seen a lot, heard a lot. And if I had had the education that is provided now, I think my life could have been a lot better financially, spiritually. Uh, but I'm satisfied with my life. I'm happy with my life. I've come across some wonderful people. Uh, there's some four guys that I'm stationed with. I was stationed with in Westover Air Force Base that I'm still in contact with. We call ourselves the Westover Five, and it's just we just have a a unification that you really can't describe. You know, you were a 21-year-old man when you met, and here you are in your 70s and you're still friends. That I think that's a lot to do with uh, being humble. Uh, don't forget where you came from, because if you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're going. We sit back, we meet once a month, and we talk about the things that happened in 1970 and the things that are happening now. Uh, and we're still fighting for the same thing: equality and just human rights. Uh, and here we are, 2025, and it seems as if the world's in a cluster for some reason. Uh, Maybe it's because it's the time. Maybe it's because some people feel that they're obligated or they're privileged to have the positions that they're in. But it's not about that. It's about saving this planet, helping each other. That's what it's really about, and enjoying what you do. If you love cooking, you do cooking. If you love motorcycling, do it. But the same thing, you can get burned with on a fire just as well as you can fall on that asphalt. Uh, I, uh, I really want people to see that if you have a dream at the age of 10 or 11, and you get to the age of 65, and your dream has come true, and you don't even realize it that's coming true, it's mind-boggling, because it can, whatever you dream can come true, whatever it is. But you have to be dedicated. You have to be smart about it. You have to have common sense. You can't, anything that you do, you can't, if you're a barber, you can't go out here and just be, think you could a barber because you got a pair of clippers. Uh, you have to want this. We had some ladies that joined our club, and they didn't want to pump their own gas. And how are you going to ride a motorcycle? You're not going to. Some places in New Jersey, they'll pump your gas for you, but they will not pump your gas on a motorcycle because they don't want to be responsible. So you can't just go out and say, "Oh, I want you to pump my gas," but it's not like that. But a lot of ladies are getting involved, and they're not afraid to get the gas on their hands, or to break that nail, or to ride from here to from New Jersey to Florida in 2 days. It's a little endurance. I look back now, and I don't miss I don't miss the cold weather. I don't miss the rain. I don't miss getting up on the underpass to wait the rain pass. Uh, I can say that my 40 years of riding, I've never been in any altercations with any other bike clubs or any other bikers. I never had that problem because we never carried ourselves like that, because we were the National Association of Buffalo Soldier and Trooper Motorcycle Club. They have a standard, and you have to keep that standard. And we're trying to project a positive image. The same thing with the other organizations I belong to. Same concept. Uh, we hear so much negativity on people of color, and we're just trying to change that outlook. We want to be looked upon as like anybody else. We work every day. We will provide for our families, but our entertainment is riding motorcycles. Sorry to say, I almost lost my marriage over that motorcycle. My wife claims that I haven't been home in 40 years. She said, you're either working or you're on that, excuse my language, damn bike. But that was my passion. That was my passion, and I apologize to my wife and my daughter for being, I guess it would be selfish, but in the same sense, it was a passion that I had. And if anyone, just like yourself, you have a passion about what you do, and it's I don't regret it. Would I make change? Would I make some changes? A few, but all in all, I have no regrets on my life. I'm pretty well okay with my life right now. Uh, if I hadn't had that accident in 2018, would I still be riding? Yes. but I can't take my family through that again. I can't take, you know, seeing the hurt on family members when I'm laying in the hospital with a rod in my leg, a trach in my throat, learning how to walk, talk, swallow, and coming and the rehab and coming home and just can't do what you used to do. But I'm grateful that I'm still here. I really think the Lord has something He wants me to do, and I think one of the things is to share my book, to share the trials and tribulations of motorcycling. Um, and if I could help, that's well, my goal is to try to help somebody every day. My mother taught me that. Back in the '60s, in the '50s, my mother would feed the homeless, which one of them was my uncle, and they'd be like 6, 7 strong, come up to the back door of our house, and my mother would cook them breakfast, and my father would get so upset about her, cooking all this food for these. At the time, they were called bums, but they weren't bums. They're just down on their luck. But she always told me that if you try to help somebody, it'll come back twofold. And I've come that to come true because dealing with the Dr. Still Center, the Buffalo Soldiers, the Westover Five, uh, just coming up, just helping people has rewarded me so much. And not money wise, but just if I can call somebody, I know I'll get help uh, right away. It's about giving. It's not about always having your hand out or assuming that somebody owes you something because it's not. That's not what life's about. Uh, and if you have this attitude where you're supposed to, or somebody's supposed to give you something, you're on the wrong path, and everybody has their own path. And some people can't even see the forest for the trees because they don't know where they want to go, and that's when you find your so-called friends who are, all they want is what you can help them get something for them. So with that, I don't know if I'm rambling or if I should cut it off, change up. I don't know. This is my first podcast. I'm a little nervous, and I got a little diarrhea in the mouth right now. But I hope that I'm coming across clear to people uh, who I want to take time to read my book, see if you really want to get into the world of motorcycling. Um, my publisher, uh, Robert Williams, he wants me to write a children's book now. And when I wrote this book, I've been writing for a while, and then my daughter, while she was in college, she critiqued it for me, and that's when I knew, well, let me try to get it published. And I had it published once before, but the publisher that I had uh, did not go into depth like Robert Williams and Preppy Quill. Uh, they've guided me along on just what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, meeting with you, um, and getting a chance to share my story with the world. Uh, and I'm, 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 I'm up for criticism. I'm up for somebody wanting to get back with me. I think they set up I have a website they brought up. I think they call it bemoeworks.com.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm just thankful that uh, your organization invited me to come and speak. When I first saw your name, I'm like, what do I have to do with realtor? I don't want no realtor. I'm not by that. But I said that. But I also had a pod with a very religious group. Uh, that podcast, I must say, didn't go very well because I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared for the questions that they were asking, and but this morning I got on time to find out what we're going to be doing, how we're going to be doing it, and I, any other questions, I'll be glad to answer.
When your book is coming out?
I hope to have it out within the month. That I'm going through. I just sent my last proof in for the final changes. Uh, as soon as that comes out, I so I put that all in Robert's hands. But he
Okay.
says we're almost there. The way it's not a big book. It's
Mm-hmm.
only maybe
80
oh
pages.
if yeah 45, 50 pages.
Okay.
It's very easy reading. He was telling me that they're looking for books like this to put into airports for people short,
Correct.
then go somewhere they can fly and read a short story. And like I said, you look at the cover, you see Bemoe, you see the motorcycle, and if you're a
Mm-hmm.
motorcyclist, you're like, maybe I'll try this out. Again, I really don't want this to look as a racial thing. I really don't want that. I want this to be about the life and the stories of being a motorcyclist, regardless of what color you are, what kind of motorcycle you ride. My thing is to tell you about the places that you could go, the people you can see. I've been welcomed into people's homes that I've never met before. Oh come on, we're gonna go by so and so's house, and the next thing you know, I'm a family member. Um, I've learned so much about the Buffalo Soldiers. I've learned so much about Dr. James Still. And this is later on in my life that I picked all this up. If I had this when I was younger, it would have been oh so so much wealth and what you learn, how much you can learn, just tapping off from what you've already picked up. You know a lot of American history, but they don't put Black history into American history, which they have to put the two together. There's just no way they can't. Uh, and again, it's not about Black history. It's not about Black history. This is about doing something that you really enjoy to do and you want to do, and you sacrifice. You sacrifice. Sacrifice a lot. I'm trying to buy a house. I'm trying to send a child to private school. I'm trying to keep the wife happy. And at the same time, you know, the president would say, we're going somewhere so and so on Friday. We're leaving at so and so time, and uh, come to work all week. Come Saturday morning, I'm ready to ride. And I tell the wife I'll call you when I get there, and she always sounded, all right with it. But I see now the effect it took upon her and my daughter over the years that I wasn't here. You know,
Yeah.
I was a phone call away, but I wasn't here.
Yeah.
So that's the downfall. Um, so
Yes, you have share very good story about yourself, and some of the questions honestly I wanted to ask you,
mhm.
you you already answer those questions.
Okay.
I appreciate that's why I was enjoying your story, because your story is so full of knowledge, full of experience, and your work history, your service. Thank you for your service, and in the military. Thank you for your service in Catholic charity. You help people with mental challenge people, and your travel history, your experience with biking. Now you're putting on paper. You also have passion for teach, and you cover a lot of great things. And I was just quiet and listening to you, enjoying. And I'm very sure that our audience will enjoy your story. The last question to ask you.
Mhm.
This question I ask everybody. Uh, what is the one message that you would like to give to the humanity,
In today's times,
to the human race
yeah,
on the
to
planet Earth?
the planet Earth. First, we have to stop destroying the Earth. That's the first thing we have to do, and we have to be respectful to one another. No race is bigger than the other race. We're all here through the grace of God or whoever your faith is. Uh, that's who we should be working for. I wake up in the morning and I said, "Thank you, God, for giving me this day. What do you want me to do for you today?" That's that's just me. I know there's people out here who don't believe or have different outlooks, but I've also learned that all religions, all religions are teaching the young to walk in the path of righteousness, to do the right thing. And a lot of people walk that path and they fall off that path, but there's a hand always there to pull you back on that right path. Now, if you don't have enough common sense to reach out for that hand, then that's in the hands of your whoever you believe in. But again, I think every religion teaches you to be a better person, to be a better person to mankind, and to try to help anybody that needs help. That's, I think, in a nutshell, my feelings of today's times. Uh, but
Any special thanks or shout out that you want to give to some people?
I do thank you for that. I'd like to first of all put out, I'm wearing my little hat, Phil, to the Westover Five, which we were stationed together 1969, 1970 in Westover Air Force Base, and we're still talking to each other uh, with Mahati Best from New Jersey, Harvey Reed from New Orleans, um, Robert Watson, who lives in California, and Kenneth Davis, who lives in Canada. And we talked like it was 1970. And again, to the actually to National Association of Buffalo Soldiers and Troopers Motorcycle Club. But most of all, out of those chapters, the New Jersey mother chapter, or they say New Jersey #1 chapter now. I'd like to give a shout out to all presidents and past presidents of that club. And to Dr. Still, Dr. James Still in Medford, New Jersey. This organization, if you ever get a chance to come to New Jersey, go to Medford, check out the Dr. Still Center. Uh, it's a small place, but it's a lot of history, a lot of history. Uh, we hear about Harriet Tubman and his brother William Still was part of all of that. The Still family come from a family of 16, and here it is, 2025, and we're still talking about the Stills. And these are things that give us an uplift as a people. Uh, Even with the Buffalo Soldiers, they teach us things that you will never know if somebody didn't come out and teach. And the young children, that's the ones we have to reach out to, these young kids, because they, for some reason, they're not on the right path. I real quick, I went to the barber shop yesterday, and I'm watching this young kid, 2 years old, and he's fussing with his father about the phone. And about everybody had a phone. in my time, we had no phones. We had a public phone, we had a pay phone, but we didn't have no phones. If we want to talk to somebody, we wrote letters and cards. We said thank you when we got a gift. You don't get that today. As an elderly, we expect that, but it doesn't come the way it used to be. I'm pretty sure when you received a gift, you had to say thank you, or you had to send a card or send a phone call if you had a phone.
Mm-hmm.
So just being humane to your brothers, black, white, Asian, Hispanic. I don't care what. If you give respect, you'll get respect.
Right, two-way traffic, always. Appreciate it.
Always, always.
Mr. Bimo, I want to thank you for spending great time sharing your journey with us, your wonderful story with us, and we're looking forward to your book coming soon and reading it. Thank you so
Good.
much.
Thank you. Thank
Well,
you.
okay, bye bye. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.